All right, what's up, party people? It's your boy Johnny Throttle. Talking about my Juice Bike performance upgrade all-wheel drive build. I love it. So, like I said before, I have the e-bike lane, 1200 watt front wheel kit. The wiring's pretty sick on the bike. You know, when you first look at the bike, you couldn't really tell that it's all-wheel drive. But this right here is where the controller's at. Look at that, right in there. I love this little setup because it is waterproof. And what I did was the slits right here where the wires go into. There's electrical tape on the other side, just to basically make sure there's no water getting inside of the controller bag. And what I did was I bought an extension to the battery plug-in to run it into here to where I have this one plugged in. This is like I said, this is the 52 volt 30 amp hour. This is a 52 volt 24 amp hour. I realized I wanted to go a little bit higher, but I made this like myself. Basically what I did was I bought an old, not old, but like a used 20-inch suitcase luggage, like a carry-on, and just basically converted it, mounted it to the back here. And I'll go over all that too. I'm gonna do a whole new one. This is kind of like you know, I'm learning as I'm going. So my next one, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. But my batteries back here. Here's like my bike chain, bike pump, and like extra tubes and tools if I need to change out. So yeah, it's been pretty sick. So I'm never left anywhere. And then, like I said, right here, I have the 5219 G2 for Juice Bikes on there. My backup 5219, and then the original one from my old one that I am using. So a lot of battery power. These two I just predominantly use for the front wheel drive, because at no point do I want to be riding on low. Like literally, I'll get this one to about 40%, and then I'll switch it over to this one and get this about down to 40. But between the two batteries, I mean, I can do 100 miles. I mean, with what I'm telling you, and that's all throttle. I rarely ever pedal. But yeah, it's dude, I love this setup. It's a lot of battery power. Each of these will get me about 30 miles max. I only push it to about 25 or so until I switch it out. So 25, 25, 25. So, and I'll do a little over because I did 80 miles the other day with it, and it was like no problem. I can literally push it to, I could probably run out to close to 40 on one battery, and that's throttle. And like I said, with having a front motor, you'll notice that you won't drain the rear tire as much, the battery as much. So that's why I can get further distances, you know. But yeah, and the wiring, I mean, it's so what I do too, I have the Bontrager light, basically the 1300 ultra lumen, the new one that just came out. So that one's like $300-400, but I use that when I go out for night rides. I don't have it on there now because I've had one before where if you leave it mounted over time, it will just jump off, especially if you're doing a lot of hills. So I only mount it when I go out. And then I have the Boom 3 that I mounted right here. That's why I didn't like the front headlight. I just put it right here. This is a power pack for my for the speaker and my cell phone battery. I don't like to run it off my battery, separate unit. And this thing right here, 4 hours will juice up battery full. Here's a brand. They're about $250 for that. And then yeah, so I have the dual throttle. So they'll have the e-bike lane throttle right here, the Juice Bike throttle right there. Like I said, I do have the performance upgrade. So this is the RCS 2022. I do have RCS 2000 20 or 19 or whatever that I bought. So I gave that bike to my brother because I don't use it as much, obviously, because this one's faster. And then back to the Braun Traeger light back here. So I usually leave that on when I'm like, especially going into the city and stuff. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. That's just like a basic cover of the build. I'll go over, if you want, like the back mounting rack. I had to do that all customized to make sure it was mounted to the rack and it fit the whole battery set up there. What's sweet about this is you close it. I mean, zip it up. I mean, I've written this thing through rain, and basically like nothing. I mean, I love it. It was, you know, it was just kind of my own thing. I kind of was figuring out. I used to have the saddlebags, and the saddlebags were just terrible. Unfortunately, if you do plan on having like the heavier batteries, especially the 52 volt batteries, I went through like 4 or 5 saddlebags trying to figure out if I could set the battery in there and all that stuff. Oh, another thing too. Maybe not that one. Right here. This is a big thing about these builds. If you do something like this, see like this. Okay, so I have styrofoam right here. That one's not taped, but this one's, there's styrofoam taped in here, and I have styrofoam on this battery just as extra protection. You see that? Then I have styrofoam at the bottom of this. That's what you want to do, because you want to make sure that the battery is not banging around. So if you ever buy extra batteries, the styrofoam that comes with them, keep it. I'm telling you right now, it's a godsend, and it's you're going to be using it. So don't ever throw away that styrofoam. It helps to cushion the battery. It's not like it really needs it, but you know, you don't want your battery all banged up. So yeah, but like I said, if you have any questions, you can email me. I'll throw it probably in the description too. You know, Johnny Throttle at johnnythrottletv@gmail.com. So if you guys have any questions, or just, you know, write in the comment section too. I don't mind answering questions. Like I said, this is like my own thing. Like, I watched a couple other people's videos, and like my hope is with this channel is I want to continue to modify this bike. The frame itself is excellent. I talked about, other people were talking about how they had the front wheel kit, and then it broke the, you know, the front ends of these. So I don't have that problem. The build's been great. Just make sure that you do have, and this is pretty standard, that you have that bracket that's bracing the motor in the front. That's a big thing. I'm excited because probably within a month or two, see how it goes, I will be changing this out and putting in a 3,000 watt motor. I was thinking about 5. I think 5 is a little bit too much, and I've heard a lot of seen a lot of reviews of 5,000 watts overheating a lot, like that being an issue. I think a 3,000 watt is probably kind of where max I want to go with these, you know, these bikes. I don't want it, you know, I don't want like a moped or basically like a mini motorcycle. But I do like doing long trips, so I think the 3,000 watt is the next step with the Sabaton controller and the 72 volt. So what I'm going to do is eventually I'm going to keep this setup. I'm going to keep the setup for here, and then change up the wiring. So now, you know, it will no longer be for the rear, and I will have this wire for the front. And then back here is where I'm going to put that 72 volt 40 amp hour battery, and it's a big battery. So like right now I have those two back there. Basically when I do my next conversion, it's going to be for the 72 volt back there. It's the same kind of setup because I already did the measurements. It'll fit in there fine, and then I'll just run the wiring for that. I'm going to put The controller right here will fit where the controller slots in here. I've already tested it out. So I'm gonna switch out the controllers. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep this controller and then possibly convert that one into a front wheel. So I have a lot of stuff on my plate with this bike. There's a lot of different things I wanna do. And yeah, man, everyone's coming along for the ride. So like I said, let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, see you in the next video.